The 5th Division was an infantry division of the Imperial Japanese Army. Its call sign was the Carp Division. The 5th Division was formed in Hiroshima in January 1871 as the Hiroshima Garrison, one of 6 regional commands created in the fledgling Imperial Japanese Army, and was destroyed in Battle of Okinawa in June 1945. Its personnel were drafted from Hiroshima, Yamaguchi and Shimane. Action. The Hiroshima Garrison had responsibility for western region of Honshu, ranging from Hyogo Prefecture to Yamaguchi Prefecture. The 6 regional commands were transformed into divisions under the Army reorganization of 14 May 1888. First Sino-Japanese War to Siberian intervention. The 5th Division has actually started the First Sino-Japanese War with Battle of Seong on 28 July 1894. It also participated in Battle of Pyongyang, the 15th of September 1894, securing a Japanese control over Korea. The 24th of October 1894, the 5th Division has crossed unopposed the Yalu River into the Chinese territory, encountering only token rearguard resistance and thus ending the Battle of Jialianchang the 24th of October 1894. It then proceeded inland to Mukden, December 1894. The 5th Division last action of the war was the Battle of Yingkou the 4th of March 1895, resulting in the peace negotiations and the Treaty of Shimonoseki the 17th of April 1895. On the 27th of January 1900, the 5th Division has started participating in the Eight-Nation Alliance action against Boxer Rebellion, with divisional detachment becoming the core of the Gately expedition. Other parts of the division have garrisoned Tianjin City and Tanggu District. The Japanese combatants won the 5th of August 1900 the Battle of Baikang single-handedly. 14 to 16 August 1900, the same Japanese combat detachment has participated in the Battle of Peking. The division has received praise from foreign observers for its bravery, professionalism and discipline. In the Russo-Japanese War under the command of General Nozomu Chitsura, it saw combat at the Battle of Shafo, Battle of Sandapu and Battle of Mukden. The division was assigned to Liaoyang, Manchuria from the 30th of April 1911. The 19th of April 1913 the divisional headquarters has returned to Hiroshima. On the 24th of August 1919, the 5th Division was assigned to Siberian intervention on the request of United States government. This mission has ended the 24th of June 1922 with the unilateral Japanese withdrawal. Second Sino-Japanese War. After the Second Sino-Japanese War erupted the 7th of July 1937, the 5th Division was subordinated to Japanese China Garrison Army on the 27th of July 1937 as a combat division. It participated in the Operation Chahar on 14 to 27 August 1937. At the same time, one reinforced regiment was participating in Beiping-Hankou railway operation. Soon afterwards, the division was rerouted to newly formed Japanese Northern China Area Army on the 31st of August 1937, immediately starting participating in Battle of Taiyuan, where the 3rd Battalion of the 21st Infantry Regiment was ambushed and wiped out in the Battle of Pinkingwan on the 24th of September 1937. On the 30th of March, 1938, the division was assigned to 2nd Army for the Battle of Zhuzhou. The 19th of September 1938, the 5th Division was subordinated to 21st Army and sent to South China, participating in Guangdong Province offensive capturing Nanning in November 1938, and was subordinated to 12th Army in order to return to North China on the 29th of November 1938. plans went awry because the 21st Infantry Brigade was surrounded by Chinese in the Battle of Kunlun Pass in December 1938. As a consequence, these troops suffered large casualties and were delayed until late January 1939. The division has returned to 21st Army on the South China on 16 October 1939. The 21st Army was reformed to 22nd Army on the 9th of February 1940. As part of newly formed army, the 5th Division has become the core of the forces allotted for Japanese invasion of French Indochina on the 22nd of September 1940. Immediately, the division was used as garrison force of the northern part of the French Indochina Pacific War. With its combat experience and record in China, the 5th Division was considered one of the best divisions in the Imperial Japanese Army. Therefore, on the 12th of October 1940, the 5th Division went under direct control of the Imperial General Headquarters and started an intensive training program, including paratrooper exercises in Kyushu together with the 5th Air Group. The division was officially committed to the Nanshan on the 9th of November 1941, subordinated to Tomoyuki Yamashita, subordinated in order to Field Marshal Terusuchi Hisaichi based in Saigon. Battle of Malaya. The 5th Division landed on the east coast of Thailand at Singora and Patani on December 8, 1941. The 5th Division fought its way through northern and central Malaya. It was particularly successful at the Battle of Jitra the 11th of December 1941 and Battle of Slim River on the 6th of January 1942, where, in both battles, it defeated the Indian 11th Infantry Division. At the Battle of Slim River, the 5th Division's 41st Infantry Regiment, supported by tanks, swept through 16 miles of British defences, shattering the exhausted combatants of the 11th Indian Division and inflicting an estimated 3,000 casualties. The 5th Division did not have it all its own way during the Battle of Malaya, suffering heavy casualties during the Battle of Kampar from the 30th of December 1941. Nonetheless, the division was able to capture Kuala Lumpur the 11th of January 1942. After overcoming the stiff resistance of the 8th Australian Division during the Battle of Muar at Gemensov Bridge, the 5th Division has opened the way to Singapore the 22nd of January 1942. Battle of Singapore. On the night of the 8th of February 1942, 6 battalions of the 5th Division, under command of Lieutenant General Matsui Takuro as part of Lieutenant General Yamashita Tomoyuki's 25th Army along with the IJA 18th Division, crossed the Johor Strait using landing craft. On the Singapore side, Sarimbun Beach was heavily defended by 2 companies, one each from the 220th and 218th Battalions of the 22nd Australian Brigade, supported by a machine gun company, 3 artillery batteries and an anti-tank battery. However, the Japanese combatants managed to penetrate the British defence perimeter, and the Australian troops retrograded after midnight, allowing the 5th Division to move on to Aiken Village and established a beachhead, where they fired a Red Star shell over the straits to indicate the success to General Yamashita. Immediately after this important victory, the 5th Division moved inwards into Singapore to capture more strategic areas such as Tengah Airfield on the 9th of February 1942. The unit fought against the 229th, 220th, 218th Battalions of the 22nd Australian Brigade and the Jind Indian Infantry Battalion, the airfield garrison. On the 11th of February 1942, Bukit Timah Road was captured by the 5th Division after fierce fighting. Singapore surrendered 4 days later. Philippines Campaign. The 41st Infantry Regiment was detached from the division in March 1942. Therefore the 5th Division has become Triangular Division. The Kuamura Detachment have landed on Panay Island on 16 to 18 April 1942, resulting in 7,000-strong U.S. Filipino combatants retreating from the coast the 20th of April 1942. Kuamura Detachment then proceed to land on north coast of Mindanao the 3rd of May 1942, forcing surrender of the Americans and Filipinos on the 10th of May 1942, after heavy fighting. New Guinea Campaign. The rest of detached 41st Infantry Regiment has reformed as Yazawa Detachment, initially deployed in Cagayan on north coast of Luzon. It was transferred, landing in Davao City on the 28th of June 1942, and used to reinforce Nang Ishitaya under command of Major General Tomatara Hori. On the 18th of July 1942, the detachment was reinforced by a company of tanks plus company of close support artillery, and ordered to join the thrust to Port Moresby on the 31st of July 1942. Initially arriving to Rabaul staging point the 16th of August 1942, Yazawa Detachment have departed on the 19th of August 1942 on board of Kiyokawa Maru and Myoko Maru and landed on Guinea Japanese beachhead the 21st of August 1942. During Battle of the Shurava the Yazawa Detachment was held in reserve. During inland battle _Brigade _Hill, the Yazawa Detachment make its way to Garua River mouth, where it secured a landing of the supplies and reinforcements, starting from the 23rd of September 1942. On the 29th of October 1942, the bulk of Yazawa Detachment took defensive positions in and near Ivy Creek, to cover a retreat of 144th Regiment and other units. The Australians attacked with superior forces on the 4th of November 1942, mauling and routing the Yazawa Detachment. About 900 combatants left of Yazawa Detachment narrowly escaped the encirclement and run away to the heavily wooded Ajura-Kijala range to the northeast on the 10th of November 1942. The last rearguard covering the Ivy Creek was wiped at the 13th of November 1942. Yazawa escapees have reached Kumusi River mouth area north of Ghana by 28th of November 1942, but was largely not combat ready because of leaving all heavy equipment behind and of nearly 100% incidence of malaria. Therefore, majority of malaria-weakened combatants were transported by landing craft to the mouth of Garua River on the 29th of November 1942, losing hundreds to the Allied air attacks in sea. The more healthy ones joined them after an overland march on the 2nd of December 1942. On the 31st of December 1942, Colonel Yazawa was ordered a desperate rescue mission to the Buna with the composite unit gathered from the jumble of shattered Japanese detachments. Fall of Buna on the 2nd of January 1943 have aborted the mission, but Yazawa Detachment still clashed with Allied combat patrols and rescued about 190 combatants escaping from Buna. As the retreat to Ghana on the 20th of January 1943 have failed, Yazawa Detachment have ceased to exist, with only few survivors reaching Japanese lines. Subsequent history. In 1943, the division was subordinated to 19th Army. The 5th Division subsequently saw action in Rabaul and Guadalcanal and various islands in the Dutch East Indies before surrendering to the Allies on Suram, in the Dutch East Indies. The division was involved with Tachibana Maru incident, comprising hospital ship being used to transport armaments and healthy combatants. As a result of the incident, about 1,500 prisoners of war of the division were captured by United States. The 3rd of August 1945. Divisional headquarters. The 5th Division headquarters buildings in Hiroshima Castle were destroyed by the atomic bomb explosion on 6 August 1945. Loss of life was light, because the headquarters were already used to reinforce 125th Division in Manchukuo in March 1945.